Hello, I'm Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. You are a sexual wank pheasant, and welcome to all the WTF moments from last night's through the motions, a little bit boring episode of Monday Night Raw, an episode that got off to a fantastic start with a lovely, thick, girthy, juicy matchup. It was a long one as well between Mr. Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. But apart from that, I thought it was a little bit meh. But let's tear it apart now. For reasons. Hit the intro man. WTF! And if you know, I would like you to tell me who the man was saying, Seth Rollins, you ain't no god, man, during Seth Rollins' entrance right at the top of last night's Raw, because if you tell me, I would like to extend my hand and give that person a hearty handshake. What a fantastic call from that person in the crowd. And then we have Samoa Joe, who is of course fantastic on the commentary, as the French might say, on WWE Raw, but also a man who terrorized Wendy and Alan James Cuthbert-Styles' little baby girl, amongst all of the other poo-housery Samoa Joe has done during his long and bastard-like career. He started off Raw last night asking the question, well lads, could Ronald Mysterio actually be on the brink of retiring? Could he really? And it was at this moment here I came to the conclusion that Samoa Joe is doing a Dio Madden on WWE Raw commentary duty. You remember Dio Madden, don't you, from the times where Bray Wyatt got his big mallet out and he was like, oh my god, it's the most devastating thing in the history of our sport and definitely not a silly big hammer. Samoa Joe is much like him. Dio Madden wanted to return, allegedly, to the ring. Samoa Joe, I reckon after hearing a call like that at the start of last night's Raw, wants to return to the ring as well. Unless of course Samoa Joe was being serious here, which simply cannot be a thing when you look back at Samoa Joe's career. Surely Samoa Joe of all people realizes this was just a tic-tac, a tactic for Seth Rollins to try and goad Ronald Mysterio into the ring so he could take his other eye. He likes eyes. And then we have Tom Phillips doing what Tom Phillips does best, and that is face fornicating the poo out of a line on WWE commentary when he claims that Aleister Black is fighting on behalf of his friend and his mentor, Mr. Ronald Mysterio. And when Tom Phillips said that, the first thing that popped into my mind was, of course, that picture from the Instagram DMs. But second of all, it was the fact that Aleister Black and Ronald Mysterio are quite literally the opposite human being in most, if not every way imaginable. Friends, I can accept, Mr. Tom Phillips, but mentor, where the hell have you plucked that one from? I mean, both of their first names have an E in and an R, which is ironic, of course, because when you heard Tom Phillips say that, the noise you made was But then after a long old deliberation that lasted almost 2.3 seconds, I worked out that the only way Ronald Mysterio could mentor Mr. Aleister Black is in the tattoo department, which of course makes you then remember that WWE Raw is about fighting and not tattooing. Raw is not just Tattoo of Us. If you haven't seen just Tattoo of Us, make sure you do. It's car crash television and it's absolutely beautiful in the worst possible way. And I think it was Samoa Joe who said the following line when that shot there was on the screen. And Aleister Black has Seth Rollins absolutely on his heels. And I was thinking, but Joe, Austin and Buddy, they're nowhere near Seth. He's not on top of them. Mamacita. Latino hit, you know how it goes. And yes, I cannot have been the only person thinking, is that Eddie Guerrero in Angel Garza's clothes and head and body? But speaking of Angel Garza's clothes, even his t-shirt is just about the same as Eddie Guerrero's, back from the Mamacita days with China and whatnot. But then you sit back and think sometimes comparisons are there for something to be made off the back of them. And Angel Garza and most of what he does inside and around the professional wrestling ring is the second coming of Eddie Guerrero, a higher compliment there cannot be. So let's have it, WWE. Let's get Angel Garza reaching the heights Eddie Guerrero reached back in the early to mid noughties. Let's be having El Hijo de Latino Heat. I've got no idea if that's right. I'm very sorry if it's wrong, which it probably is. Now, being from a place that's quite close to Scotland, hearing Lana say, "You are nothing but a leech, trying to use my husband, my Bobby, to try and revive your washed up career," was a little bit funny when you know that Scottish people use the word Bobby to describe their willies. Just imagine Daddy Drew McIntyre explaining the WWE storylines happening on Raw to his pal who doesn't watch WWE Raw every single week. They're going to be really confused. Oh dear. And the more I see these wrestling legends being interviewed about the prospect of the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash 2020, and the more I hear these legends not say, well, the build of this match has been complete and utter bollocks, what the hell are WWE doing for Christ's sake, the more I'm thinking these legends are not telling the truth. So what's the point in these legends being interviewed in the first place? The dirty lying bastards. And once again, another show where they haven't gone back on this greatest wrestling match ever. Of course, how could they when they're this balls deep? But once again, I can't believe we've made it this far without somebody in a prominent position in the company thinking, bloody hell, what the hell are we doing with this storyline, eh? New meme, that there is a new meme. And we all know what needs to happen from here on out. Ellis from WrestleMania 30 and this fella here need to face off in a face-off. Refereed, of course, by Titus O'Neil from WrestleMania 36 to see who has, of course, the best meme face in the history of crowd meme face things. And this unprecedented scene, this first time ever, this rarer than a dodo. Sir David Attenborough, I love you. This scene here happened during that Kevin Owens versus Apollo Crews match from last night's Raw. Now sit down everybody, because what I'm about to tell you is a bit too much for some people's legs to handle, maybe, so just sit down in case you faint. Here we have two heels in the crowd clapping on two baby faces in a WWE ring. A place, of course, where baby faces can only be friends with fellow baby faces, apart from when said baby face is being attacked and you're sat there wondering where are his baby face pals to come and save him, but that's besides the point. And a place, of course, where heels can only be friends with their fellow heels, so I reckon we've reached the point of no return. The end is nigh. The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh. And the more I see stuff like this, and like this, I hope the pictures changed at the right moments there, the more I think the WWE have got the script for Ivar on Monday Night Raw, the script for my beacon of hope, my bloody, what the hell they used to call Rusev back in the day, my bay and spirit animal. Otis has taken that mantle, but I reckon the more I see stuff like this from Otis, they've taken the script for Ivar, they've taken the script for Otis, and they've mixed them up. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because everybody fancies Ivar. Move over, Session Moff Martina, I'm very sorry. But finally, during the midst of this very entertaining bollocks on this week's Raw, we got the answer as to why Ivar wears that cummerbund thingy. No, it's not to hide his big jiggly belly from Vince McMahon, who doesn't like big jiggly bellies. It's because he's got a ball on his tummy. He should see a doctor about that. And now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Hello and welcome back to Wankety Wank, the section of these WTF Moments videos where you, a lovely wholesome sexual wank pheasant, tweet me with something I have missed from a wrestling show and I'll give you the credit just in case it's wrong. And a big thank you goes out to SMNBA25 for tweeting me this, something which I have no idea if it's right or if it's wrong, but I'm mentioning it just in case it's right. Who am I to doubt this lovely, wholesome, sexual wank pheasant? To be honest with you, I couldn't be asked to research this because I'm lost in Ivar's beard. Whew. And this lady right here is the dictionary definition for the word confusion. Billie Kay wins her match against Nikki Cross, who still needs to have that sitcom with Michael Cole playing her biological father approved and put on whatever version of WWE Network will get that these days. What's going on with these different versions of the WWE Network? That's a different point altogether. But this lady here watches Billie Kay beat Nikki Cross fair and square. No bollocks whatsoever. But she boos the Iconics as they're making their way back up the ramp while wearing their t-shirt. What? Now, as we all know, NXT's Chelsea Green is a heel, but even she was like, what, Nia? Huh, Nia? Huh, Nia? Hold up, Nia. What the bloody hell did you just say, Nia, when Nia Jax said a certain line during that promo on last night's Raw? If you don't know what line I'm talking about, just watch the YouTube clip from Nia Jax's promo and you'll see the line, you'll hear the line, and you'll know what line I'm talking about here. And I guess you could sit there, this was merely a method of getting heat on a heel, but I don't know about you, but this wasn't a good or effective way to get heat on a heel. The bar was literally set at the lowest point it could possibly dive to. An absolute bollocks promo from Jax on last night's Raw, but at least she had a quiet night from there on out, never to be heard of again. But it went and happened again with Nia Jax, didn't it? It just had to happen again. As we all know, mistakes happen in professional wrestling. Every single professional wrestler in that ring, they're human beings, they make mistakes. We all know every single thing these professional wrestlers do. In and around a professional wrestling ring, there's a degree of high risk attached to everything they do. But the more and more and more it happens with Nia Jax, the less and less and less you can say, way, it's professional wrestling, it's dangerous, accidents happen. No doubt about it, you will have your own opinion about what happened between Nia Jax and Kairi Sane last night, but to me, a hack on the internet who knows nothing about the mechanics of professional wrestling, it looked a little bit reckless, but bloody hell, WWE, Kairi Sane has done enough. Let's not see Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane ever again. You're putting poor Kairi through the absolute ringer here, man. Randy Orton watches Ride Along on the WWE Network. I'll say that again just in case you missed it the first time, and because I can't speak English very well. I think we need subtitles here, Mr. Editor. We need subtitles here. Randy Orton watches Ride Along on the WWE Network. It should have appeared there. And I'm sure I simply cannot have been the only person to hear Randy Orton say this line on last night's Raw and think, Randy? Really? You do? I think he's actually broken. The pressure of the upcoming greatest wrestling match ever has broken Randy Orton and resorted him to watching Ride Along. I like Ride Along. You like Ride Along. Everyone likes Ride Along, but Randy Orton is simply not the type of person I would think would watch Ride Along. But since he does, I am now rambling. WTF moment, move on, Ross, shut up, man. But then we have Randall Berry claiming that over the past 20 whatever years, he's phoned it in WWE, and despite half-arsing it all these decades, he's still achieved more than Edge and the rest of the WWE locker room. And I know that Randall Berry's a dirty, dirty heel, and he's supposed to lie and twist the truth and be a no-good bastard. But I'm here with some stats, because I'm sad. On one hand, we have Randy Orton with his 17 main roster titles, his 2 Royal Rumble wins, and 1 Mr. Money in the Bank thing. But on the other hand, we have Edge, 31 main roster titles, a King of the Ring, a Royal Rumble, a Money in the Bank, a Hall of Fame ring, but most importantly of all, a bragging rights trophy. Remember that? Aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is the 10 count that got Asuka counted out against Charlotte Flair when Nia Jax was doing, and I quote from Tom Phillips, I think said this, some psychological warfare. And I was thinking, Nia, why the hell did you go to more trouble than you ever had to do when you were doing this psychological warfare? You can forget about going to WWEshop.com and buying your Asuka mask. You can forget about painting your eyes green like Asuka. All you had to do way more effective psychological warfare is just look Asuka in the eye and say to Asuka, hello Asuka, we are going to wrestle. And no doubt about it, Asuka would have pooed her pants 10 times as harder as she simply didn't do when she saw you dressing up like her. Poor Nia. And I think that's it for your WTF moments from this week's thrilling installment that wasn't really thrilling at all, apart from the first part episode of Monday Night Raw. Thank you once again for being a sexual wank pheasant. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a lovely time. Be nice to each other. Myself and Mr. Head are now going to go off and look at pictures of Ivar on the internet because that man is so bloody sexy. I love him, I do, Mr. Head. Do you? Yes, I do, Ross. I think he's very attractive, so I do, but Eric is not attractive.